Ciao. Thank you for joining me today. I want to take you on a tour of my painting, I Faraglioni Capri. Now, there's a cute story that goes with this because I didn't know what choppy meant for water. I don't necessarily spend a lot of time on boats, and one of the only ways to see this is to either charter a boat or take a tour boat to see I Faraglioni. And I knew I wanted to paint this. I had heard a lot about it, and I know a lot about it from history. And when I showed up to the boat, the captain was telling me that there was going to be some weather later in the day. So the waters were a tiny bit choppy, but no big deal. So I thought, okay, great, let's go. I'm ready to see it. Well, I'm a big chicken when it comes to being the boat rocking a bit and things. And as the boat got closer to the I Faraglioni, it took maybe about 30 minutes to get there. So the waves got bigger. And it was so funny because I could not sketch because the boat was rocking. So I was trying to take as many photos as I could to piece together some sketches later. But while I was doing that, the waves were going up over my head and I was totally drenched. However, I did get some great photos and I spent some time really memorizing what they looked like because a camera cannot uh, encompass the whole scene and it doesn't actually get the true color. And so, what I do when I'm there is I look at all the colors as closely as I can and memorize, what goes with what and the weather and the textures and all the little detail. And I still managed to do it. And then when I got back onto dry land, I did some sketches to cement it in my memory. And I put together the composition for this painting. And one of the reasons why this fascinates me is the Greeks originally inhabited Capri, and they had a myth about these three rock formations. I believe it was Homer who talked about this being the location where the Cyclops was throwing the rocks at Odysseus in his journey. That was actually right here. And another thing the ancient Greeks used to do is they would light fires on these rocks, to make them kind of like a lighthouse. So sailors wouldn't wreck into them at night. I thought that was really interesting. And then moving on to Virgil, who was an ancient Roman. He wrote about these as the place where the sirens lived. Have you heard the myth about the sirens luring the sailors onto the rocks with their beautiful song? Well, this is what he was talking about. And they're just beautiful. They're so monumental when you see them. It's incredible. You can see them from the island of Capri, but you have to go to the Gardens of Augustus to do that. And they're really high up on the island. So when you see these, you're looking down on them. To see them like this, you actually have to be in a boat. Or if you're very brave and fit, you can walk a tiny staircase down to sea level. And there is actually a tiny cafe down there where you can have a great meal and look right up at them. So that's some ways that you can see this for yourself. Another interesting thing is each rock formation of the three has its own name. This one is called Seta. It's the one closest to Capri. This is the island right here. And here is the rock formation. It's very interesting because they found the remains of a Roman villa on that one. So some enterprising soul had this as his own personal little island and put a villa on it. I just love that. This one, Stella, is really a famous spot for proposals. People sail through this little arch right here, which when you're in it, it's huge. But people sail through it and get engaged. And it's so romantic. And yeah, of course, I wanted to sail through it because, uh, I had to try that out. It was amazing. This last one, Scopolo, and it is the home of a rare blue lizard. And the reason it's blue is kind of fascinating. All this blue sky and blue sea, the lizard has to be blue to blend in. Isn't that cool? I mean, who wouldn't want to, live somewhere where you're surrounded by a sea like that and the sky like this? I love that. So anyway, that is my painting, I Faraglioni Capri. Thank you for joining me today. And if you'd like to see more video tours, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. I'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments and I will get back to you immediately. Take care and ciao ciao.